Hey guys, welcome back to Living Life on Purpose. Today we are going to be talking about the necessary essentials that you're going to want to have in your personal bag when you're going on a long haul flight. So your personal bag is something that you're going to have with you at your seat while you're on your flight. And so it's going to need to have all of the things that you could possibly need between the time that you take off and the time that you actually land. And so depending on the length of your flight, that may mean a few different things. So this is the size of my personal bag, and I like this one because it's got plenty of zippers, plenty of pockets, and it's able to fit everything that I need during the flight. So here's my list of things that you're going to want to have in your personal bag. First thing that I would say you need to have in your personal bag is all of your electronic devices. So like your laptop and your chargers. That's not something that you're going to want to actually put into your carry-on bag or into a checked bag, because like it could get broken. It's something that's valuable, so you want to keep it close to you. It's not something you're necessarily going to need on the flight, but because it's valuable, I would not want to put it anywhere else. The next thing I would make sure that I have is all of my chargers for my electronic devices that I'm using on the flight. So charger for my cell phone and charger for my headphones are probably going to be the most important ones. Those are super great to have because most of the time when you're on a longer flight, they're going to have some USB ports so that you can actually charge your phones while you're on the flight. Even better than that though is make sure that you have a portable charger, one that you don't actually have to keep plugged into anything. That way, if you're on the go or even on the flight, if you don't want to deal with the cord being hooked up to the seat in front of you, then you can just plug that into your phone and you can still have the phone on you without having all of those cords all over the place. Because those can get really frustrating when you're trying to sleep and you've got a blanket on you, you've got a pillow, and then you've got your bag that's at your feet, and it's just kind of uncomfortable, especially for an overnight flight. Just to get rid of those cords and to consolidate all of my stuff, it makes for a much better flight. Next thing you're gonna wanna make sure that you have is your neck pillow, because I actually forgot this on my last flight. So I bought one of the inflatable neck pillows that you can get at the airport. I think this was like $20, and like you can see how terribly thin it is. It's garbage. It was so frustrating because everything at the airport is so expensive. And so what I recommend is buying one of these memory foam neck pillows. This is the one that I have, and you can fold it down nice and tight and it fits into one of these drawstring bags, and then it self-inflates, and then it's so comfortable, like so much better than one of those inflatable ones, because this one I can actually sleep with, and I sleep really bad on flights, but this one is actually thick enough and soft enough that I can actually get some pretty decent sleep on a long flight. Like I said earlier, depending on the length of your flight, you're gonna wanna have some different things in your bag. So the next one is more for like a really long flight or an overnight flight. For those, I like to have my toothbrush and toothpaste, because if I'm gonna be on a plane for a really long period of time, I'm gonna wanna brush my teeth at some point. And so that's something that's really great to have. You just gotta make sure that you have a travel size toothpaste. So this one doesn't apply to everyone, but another thing that I would make sure that I have is all the stuff that I need for my contacts. So I have contacts, and if I'm on a long flight, at some point I'm gonna wanna take those out so that I can get some sleep and they're not like sticky and gooey when I wake up. So I take those out, and I have my glasses there, so I've got all of that, and all of that is in my personal bag. Another thing that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone, but you should make sure that you have, is if you're going on an overnight flight and there's medication that you need to take within a certain period of time, you wanna make sure that you'll have that so that you can take that when you need to. Another thing that you have to make sure that you have, and this seems like a pretty obvious one, but I'm gonna list it because it would be pretty bad if you put this in the wrong spot. You need to have your passport and boarding pass all with you in your personal bag. Because if you end up putting that either in your checked bag, which would be a total disaster, or if you put that in your carry-on bag, then you're gonna have to get out at some point during the flight to get that down, and that's just gonna be a hassle. Because usually on flights, you're gonna have to fill out some sort of paperwork or information when you land in the country of your destination. So you need to keep your passport and boarding pass with you all the way through the flight. So just depending on where you put your entertainment, this may be an extra item and it may not. So for example, like if you like to download all of your entertainment onto like a tablet, you need to make sure that you have that. Or if you download all of that onto your phone, that's not really an extra item, but I figured I'd go ahead and mention it. Make sure that you've got that downloaded before you get onto the flight so that you're ready to go. Sometimes the in-flight entertainment can be kind of spotty and it may not work. That's how it was this past summer on our flight back from Thailand, we didn't really have a whole lot of entertainment that we could watch because you couldn't actually hear any of the movies. So make sure that you've got that downloaded before you get on the flight so that you have something to watch. That's my recommendation for what you need to have in your personal bag for a long haul flight. If you have any other tips or recommendations that you want to let everyone else know about, leave a comment. And like and subscribe, because in just a few months, in actually 4 months, my wife and I and our 1-year-old son are gonna be moving over to Thailand. And so it's gonna be a pretty exciting time. So we would love for you to follow along and join us on our journey. See you next time.